Thanks for tuning in. I'm Faith Bautista, and this is Owning a Piece of America. The National Asian American Coalition, NAAC, is a HUD-approved nonprofit organization with a focus on home ownership, small business assistance, diversity, and consumer protection for underserved minority communities. And that's what we're going to be talking about with our guest today. They're partnering with NAAC with the goal of helping educating Latino community on how they can achieve the desire to be homeowners. Welcome, Pastor Ariel Mesa, Cindy, and Pastor Jose. Buenos dias noches.
Buenos dias. Good to be here.
Pastor Mesa, thank you so much for collaborating with NAAC. Can you give us the benefits of a pastor at church collaborating with nonprofit?
Well, Faith, thank you for having us here. And we have formed a partnership with you because we believe that sometimes our churches stay within the four walls, and we forget that people's lives are being lived outside the wall. And so their daily living, having to deal with finances, is a big part of their own personal lives. And by bringing this education, okay, on how money works, we're not only able to help them live their lives and improve their family life, but it also helps the churches be lifted up and have a strong foundation to do more work in the community.
But you're like one of a kind Latino pastor, because usually it's vertical, just God, a Bible study. You're like doing vertical and horizontal, the real cross.
Well, you know what? Part of it has been because my father was a pastor, it runs in the family, but he really taught us about living the life of Christ, okay, which is sharing the love, not only prayer for them, because sometimes you're right, we tend to just think about the spiritual side, but really what is the physical part, and to live that life. So that's why the partnership is so important. What we don't know and what we don't have, we're able to learn from NAAC and partners like yourself so that we can impact the lives of our members.
Perfect. And Cindy, as a Latina woman, and the macho Latino, right, and the Filipinos, how do you lead this congregation of yours, and what are your challenges as a Latina woman? How will they listen? Why would they listen to you to buy a house, save money, things like that?
One of the importance is that we live by example. And we've taught them that as a minority and being a woman, there's nothing impossible. Because if we prepare ourselves, if we go to school, if we take advantage of all the opportunities that we have, there's nothing that can stop us. So we have taught them that school is very important.
But how do you make them listen to you?
Is by the grace of God. Because definitely, yes, we know that the stereotype of our culture tends for the woman to be more silent, but thank God that we're in America and we have plenty of opportunities to grow. And like I said, with example, then we can tell them and guide them and show them if we've done it, they can also do it.
That's true. And Pastor Jose, you've been a pastor for how many years?
In our church, 26 years.
26 years. What are really the challenges of the Latino pastors? African American, I think that's where the Catholic churches should listen or emulate. Latino, the same thing. The African American really use their churches to empower their communities. What is the Latino community or the Latino pastors doing about that?
Well, probably like you said before, it's a big change now. We understand that as a pastor, we not only teach the word of God, but also we try to teach and involve the community to get the dream that they have, like own a house, better type of life, it's two types of work that we have to do as a pastor, teaching the word of God and also telling the people that we need to be involved with the community.
So don't you get some challenges from the congregation? You know, I came here to pray. I did not want to listen to small business. I mean, is there difficulty of that?
Well, we tell the people in our church that it's important to pray, it's important to have faith on God, but also we have to do something like go to college, try to get a good job, and do not lose your dream. You can do it, you can move forward. And I believe that God wants us to have the thing that we're dreaming of.
And Pastor Ariel, there's like 40,118 churches. There are more Latino churches than Starbucks. That's what Pastor Jack always tells me. You have the platform to really educate the Latino from voting, education. How would you challenge or encourage other 40,115 pastors out there?
Yes. Well, you know, this is our opportunity. Okay? The country is changing. And yes, Latinos are everywhere. We are now in California, we are the majority minority. And so we're moving across the country. So it is time for us to be a voice. You were using the example of the African American churches and the pastors and how they led the civil rights movement, and how they were able to become a economic force. And so this is our opportunity now. And get outside the walls. That's
right. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back because we're going to challenge all the Latino pastors. Thank you for watching.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC? Well, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
Which planet are we living on? Earth! Right here.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea.
Turn the lights and everybody look up.
Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
We're back. You're watching Owning a Piece of America with my guest today, Pastor Ariel, Pastor Jose, and his wife, Cindy. And we're talking about our goal to help the Latino brothers not just become homeowners, but business owners and politically active. So let's go back again because this is really exciting. You know, you're right, you're the majority minority in California. The whole tribe of Latino are in California. Let's talk about the empowerment of the Latino community. Where do you think you guys are lacking, and what do you think you should, or tell the people what they should be active about? Pastor Ariel?
Well, definitely this is an election year, and it is one of the most critical moments in the history of our country, but especially for the Latino community, because we are a growing demographic group. And so wherever Latinos go, that's really where the country is going to go. So I think being involved in politics and voting is one of the most critical issues that we face, because really the destiny of this country and our own future is in our hands.
So we just have to encourage them to go out and vote, though, right?
We do. We're not known for those that go to the ballot box. And some of this has to do with some of the fears that we have, but our churches can really mobilize, and that's what we're working, that our churches begin to empower our members.
Perfect. Cindy, talk about also for the Latina women. I mean, what are the needs out there? Now, how you guys do you think you can empower not just the California, but the United States of America?
I think that being as a Latino woman, one of the areas that I can see that we're lacking of is allowing them the opportunity to become better, not only housewives, but women that can perform in the work field, at home, and also being part of the community. Because when you're part of the community, you can influence other women. You know, you can let them know they have a voice and let them know that they can empower themselves even more by having these types of, events where we're learning so much more. Maybe we have an idea, but when we hear other people empowering us and teaching us and guiding us, then that gives us even more power.
Is it because maybe the language is the barrier for that?
Well, I've seen that a lot of women now have taken the time to go to night school, so they're trying to better themselves, not only, like being a mom, but also trying to learn the language. Definitely. I do know that sometimes it's a big barrier where they don't have the opportunity or they think they cannot learn it.
Right.
You know,
and unfortunately, Cindy, the women, we pay less compared to men. So, Pastor, Jose, what else do you think that the Latino community should be empowered more or get active more?
Well, one thing that we're doing is trying to educate our people to learn more about the way this country move forward. And one of the things that we're doing now, election time. So we want to be sure that all the people that have the right to vote go and register themselves. So we just want to be sure that they understand that this is a country with a lot of opportunity, but we need to make an effort, like, for example, try to learn the language, go to school. But one thing we're going to be sure is that we're not going to be inside the four walls.
But Pastor Jose, though, a lot of people do not vote, especially the Latino or the Asian, because they don't know who the elected officials are. They don't know the proposition. Do you think there's a lot of missing education in your community?
Probably it is, but that's the work that we're doing right now. We try to educate them and teach them where they should go, how they can do it, bring the names of the people that try to be in representation of the Latino community. So we're working with the Latino community in a way to bring them the information they need.
I always tell the corporations or the politicians, you want to be heard, talk to the pastors because they have the pulpit, undivided attention.
That's correct.
If they work with the pastors, trust me, your message will be heard.
Yes, you're correct.
Right, yeah. So Pastor Ariel, for the home ownership, the small business, and the workshops that are you doing, can you just tell us in a nutshell what those are?
So we are conducting workshops where we do 4, 6, 12-hour sessions, and we talk there about credit and how to build their credit, how to repair their credit. We talk about money, how money works. We talk about our Latino community. Sometimes they don't know that in this country, banks are safe. We come from a country sometimes where, there's a lot of corruption. And so, these are the types of education that we bring in the workshops. Home ownership. What is owning a home? And how can I go about that? What are the steps I need to take? Budgeting. And so it doesn't matter the amount of money that you earn. It's how you manage that money. Debt is a big issue. And so as the parents go, so go the children. So it's important that we educate.
Right, and do you guys get a lot of people that goes to this workshop, and is it free?
Yes, we've opened the doors and we've encouraged them to come, and thank God, yes, they've answered eagerly because they believe that they can achieve more by attending these workshops.
Well, I really agree, because My name is Faith, and I believe in
faith.
God, and I cannot go wrong if I go and meet the pastors. So I want to thank the guests for coming here today and for the tireless work they do with NAAC, for all the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
for
a
having us
pleasure.
here. I appreciate it.
Owning a Piece of America presents Lifestyle with Asian Journal.
Welcome back to Owning a Piece of America, and here is our lifestyle section brought to you by Asian Journal. My name is Annie Nepomuceno, and I am the Los Angeles correspondent for Asian Journal. Right now, after 2 national tours alongside mainstream artists currently dominating the radio waves, Edsel Godwin Sotianco, also known as Edge One, has big plans with his group, We the Future. Dubbed the Golden Boy with a golden voice early in his career, Edsel has charmed crowds with his robust and versatile voice that does justice to both classic songs, pop, and hip-hop. Edsel has shared the stage with Lea Salonga, Martin Rivera, and Apple Diap of the Black Eyed Peas. Here's Asian Journal's guest for you tonight. This afternoon, I guess.
Every time.
Yes, but thank you so much, Edsel, for coming here. I know you have a very busy schedule.
Yeah, but you got to learn to balance things, you know.
Yeah,
I love to. Thanks for having me today, also. You know.
Yes, we're really interested to hear because you started singing at the age of 7.
7 is correct. Yeah.
You know, yeah. So you had to learn all these songs, probably that you had no idea what they were.
Yeah, a lot of the songs I started with were a lot of the the older songs, the standards. They say, you know, my dad's music, you know, Elvis, Nat King Cole, that type of stuff.
Yeah, but I guess you had some fun learning all that music, did you not?
Yeah.
But you had no idea when you were young. What happened? How was it different now that you're like in high school and everything, wherein that you got into a group and you have a manager? How is that different from your career when you were starting out?
Well, I mean, I think it's all about perspective. You kind of, you get more taste as you age, like cheese or wine. I think being in high school has definitely given me a lot more of my own ideas and thoughts about music that I didn't really have as a younger person in middle school or something. And being in high school, being in a music arts high school, has really helped shape that too. Just because we're really surrounded by it all the time. The atmosphere is for the musically and artistically inclined. So, I just you come to really love every aspect of music.
So how did you come to get into doing these national tours? Tell us about that.
Well, that definitely didn't happen from singing Broadway. All the classics. Yeah, my brother, he is the DJ for the Black Eyed Peas, Poet Named Life. Yes. He's produced several of their hits, Boom Boom Pow, that type of stuff. Back when the Black Eyed Peas were the dominant name that everyone knew.
Yes, that's true.
He introduced me to my manager now, which is Polo Molina, who is the manager for the Peas. And he wanted to build a group that was kind of like, the same composition as the Peas, where you have a Filipino American, an African American, and a Latino American, and we all, even though we all come from different backgrounds, we all can come together and make a really cohesive, wonderful project.
Yes, that's true. So it's very diverse.
Yeah.
But what's common among the three of you is your age.
Yeah.
You're all in your teens. So I suspect that you have a lot of screaming girls at your concerts. Okay, you're not going to tell us a lot about that. So who were the artists that you toured with?
We toured with Lil Wayne, of course. He's the head of our label, and he always brought on random artists to perform on his appearances. He'd never really tell us who the special guests were. He would bring out Drake, Nicki Minaj, Tyga, anyone from the label. The people that were also on the tour, though, that came up with us and they're doing well now on the radio, such as G-Eazy, Becky G, were some of the people we toured with. T.I., 2 Chainz, a lot of the dominant names in hip hop right now.
So it's, really busy going on tour. How did you manage your schoolwork and going on tour?
Well, like I said, being in a music arts high school, you kind of learn how to balance music and your academics hand in hand. And that just kind of added another layer to it, just being on tour. Everyone at my school kind of knew what I was doing, knew that I had this whole thing outside of school, outside of the after-school conservatory, outside of orchestra and ballet practice. We always had, I always had that extra step of going to more rehearsals and more vocal coaching and all that stuff.
But then I guess the music that you were studying while you were in the high school was pretty different from the music that you were practicing and performing. So what is your creative process when you work with your group mates?
You know, we all do come from very different backgrounds. Like I said, we are very diverse. What we usually do is it's not as much of a group effort as you might think. We all kind of ask whoever we're working with to send us the music, send us the instrumentals, and we'll all go off into our separate rooms and we'll all write what we think the song should be about. But we're all given the topic to write about, and we'll all go and do our own perspectives, our own spins on what we think the topic is, and then at the end of the day, we play what we all recorded, and it usually works.
Sometimes it just melts
It just
together?
works, yeah. It always just falls into place.
Oh, that's so great. That means you're lucky to have your group mates that everything falls into place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We're really interested into hearing more about this, so we're going to toss you into another break where we hear more about Edsel Sotianco. And you're called now by the name Edge One.
Edge One, that's correct.
Where did that come from?
The name itself, you know, Edge is kind of a mixture of my first and middle name, Edsel Godwin, and one was just it's kind of a balance thing. I just wanted to add, you know, that to make it feel like it was more hip hop. The suffix one it's a very classic hip hop type name to have, such as, like, you know, people put Lil in front of their names, Young in front of their names. So it's just it's in the same lane.
Yeah, we'll learn a little more about Edsel when we come right back.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC?
Well, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back to Owning a Piece of America. Here's your lifestyle section. I am Annie Nepomuceno for Asian Journal. And we are here speaking with Edsel Godwin Sotianco, or Edge One. So let's see. You have had several solo concerts, I think a lot since you were young.
Yeah.
How different is this scenario from the concert tours?
Well, I like to think of my solo concerts as a time to really kind of connect with the audience. You know, when you're on tour, there's hundreds of thousands of people in the audience. We're doing amphitheaters, we're doing arenas. I like to think of my solo concerts as, you know, a lot more intimate. We usually choose smaller venues to be able to, you know, actually interact with the crowd a lot. So I think that's where the difference lies, is right there.
So tell me about a typical day for you.
A typical day?
Your typical creative day.
Wake up, drink coffee, drink coffee. Yeah.
What are your favorite things about being a performer?
Oh man, I think it's the feeling that you get from being on stage. You know, as a performer, as an artist, you kind of never stop performing, no matter what you're doing. Like in your daily life, you have to kind of, especially when you're on a major label and stuff like that, you kind of have to carry that with you, and people kind of ask you about that.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's what it is you just have to live that life almost all the time, and you have to be able to handle that. So
I
it's a
guess
fishbowl almost.
being managed by the Black Eyed Peas manager made really like a big change in your
definitely.
career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where else have you been brought that's really, really interesting? Some things that you were proud of or didn't expect, probably?
I think I didn't expect any of it to be like this. Honestly, as a young artist, I thought that I had good work ethic, but being in, you know, on a major label where this becomes your life, it really challenges what you think good work ethic is. You're living pretty much on a tour bus out of your suitcase for a while. You're spending all of your daylight and like night hours in a studio recording and writing music. You know, whenever you're on the street just walking, you'll like see a tree with like leaves falling, and you'll get inspiration from that, and you'll like go straight to the notes part of your phone and write some lyrics.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think every part of your life just revolves around this artistry and this craft that you have to, you know, continue building and growing.
Yeah, do you find it hard because with the stressful life that you have to do this, you know, because if you're an artist, it's not all, you know, fun and games. It's lots of things to do, lots of preparation. Don't you find it stressful or something, like to be creative when you have to do this and you have to do that?
Yeah, I think when people put like deadlines on you know, on your creativity, when you're pressured to be creative, is when you start hitting like, you know, writer's block. But I think like, you know, a lot of our best songs, a lot of my best writing comes out of when like, you know, you're being spontaneous, and a lot of this happens just like at the drop of a dime, you know?
Yeah.
Not as like, oh, you have to get this done by this time. Whereas, you know.
Would you say that sometimes you get more stuff out when it's unannounced or unprepared for?
I think so.
Yeah.
I like having the freedom to just, you know, create. I don't like having people like, you know, I mean, we do have a lot of guidelines to follow, and we do have a lot of time, like a timeline to stick to in order to get, you know, our records out on time. But I really do like just, you know, being able to wake up, you know, go about my morning routine and just recording at my leisure, you know.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, you know, because it could really be hard to think of something, you know, when you're under pressure. And, you know, we're excited to see you in action. So I hope with this next break, we're going to see you and your buddies doing your stuff. So we'll be right back.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
God put me on this earth because I do have a message that I want people to hear.
With the future.
She be calling and calling, I don't answer my phone. Young money, cash money. She be calling and calling, I don't answer my phone. With the future. Bum. Tell me, do your mama know how late you call my phone? Got that wild out. That wild out. She even bring her love to school. She breaking all the rules. Got that wild out. That wild out. She be breaking. I know she waiting for me. She don't call. She gon' give her heart to me if I promise it don't fall. I know she'll get this moment right here till tomorrow. She's sleeping with her makeup on so she could be on call wherever you want.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Thank you so much for being with us, Edsel Godwin Sochanco, or I should call you Edge One. Yeah, but I have one last question. My question is, when do you think you would feel that you have owned a piece of America?
Well, I mean, I feel like that question means something different to everyone, you know? Depending on, you know, what we do in our daily lives. I feel like we're all trying to find that. We're all trying to find what owning a piece of America means. I think for me, it's just, you know, just being able to leave my stamp on music and leave you know, a good impression for people that Filipinos and in the music industry in America can make it. And you know, once I've done that, I feel like I can validate
I wish
owning
you
a piece in America.
Yes, I wish you all the luck, and we're excited to see your stuff in the future. We've now come to the end of our show. On behalf of Faith Bautista and myself, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to Owning a Piece of America. See you all next time.